It is Market Movers on a Thursday. Welcome to the show, everybody. We're excited to have you here. Of course, my name is Dan Koob, executive producer of content and media here at Sport Trade. We have an awesome show for you today, our Market Movers. Not only are there 4 MLB games going on right now as I pull up the order book to tell you what we are up to on this Thursday, but we are about to go live out to Cincinnati, where Josh Moser, reporter from WSVN, the sports director, is going to join us in just 2 seconds to give us a preview of Thursday Night Football. Why wait? He has been sitting in the security line where he joins us now. Josh, what's up, my man? Hey, you're through. You're through. Yeah. He made it through.
I'm through. We're walking out to the field. So everybody that's watching the stream, welcome to the bowels of the stadium. I feel like once you've seen one, you've seen them all for the behind-the-scenes tour.
So true.
But Dan, always a pleasure to be on. And, man, love what you're doing, love what you're building, and happy to help.
Oh, my man, we're so thrilled that you're here. I mean, a live shot on our live stream today. It's unbelievable. This is such an interesting game, though, Josh, when you talk about the makeup of this Thursday Night Football game, right? The Dolphins on Sport Trade priced at just $36.50 to win. Of course, on Sport Trade, for those uninitiated, that means a 36.5% chance of winning this evening against Cincinnati. Josh, this has to have been one of the most weird, that's not even terrible grammar, one of the weirdest weeks that you've ever covered a team for, right? They win the biggest game of the season against Buffalo. They have 3 days off. They have to leave early. Tua is hurt. Who knows what's going to happen? What has this week been like?
Well, you throw Hurricane Ian on top of all of that. That really adds to this. This is really, really tough right now for this Miami team. Normally, this is the hardest game to win when you have a short week on a Thursday night on the road. This defense is going to have to play well, but they played almost 90 snaps against the Bills. Here we go, everybody. We're kind of walking out on.
Oh, there it is. There it is live.
So we're looking live.
They changed the end zone, Josh. They changed the end zone to match the jerseys tonight.
They did. So we've got the whiteout tonight. I'm going to put this down real fast and jump back for you. So
get comfortable.
There we go. But yeah, this is really, really tough for this Dolphins team, and everything for this team, as we know, starts with a quarterback. And officially, it's a back injury and an ankle for Tua Tagovailoa. Obviously, it looked like a concussion, but he did not have a concussion, was never in concussion protocol. But that's one of the big storylines to watch in this game, as well as the health of Xavier Howard. He has not been himself the last couple of games. We know Jamar Chase is on the other side, so that's a matchup to watch. And then big in the media this week, Tyreek Hill and Eli Apple.
Oh, yeah.
Apple really holding Hill in that AFC Championship game last year when Hill was with the Chiefs. So a lot of talking back and forth. But when you're playing a game like you did, especially this defense, with that many snaps against a good team like the Bills, to have no rest and come here and they didn't even practice this week. They just walked through everything.
That's incredible.
And Tua is a huge question mark with his health. So that's really the issue. But the other matchup to watch, which, is maybe why, we're kind of almost 60-40 here, is the defensive line for the Dolphins. That is the strength of their team. We know the weakness of the Bengals is their offensive line. Joe Burrow has been sacked 15 times, I believe, through the first 3 games. So that's kind of the intriguing matchup, but having the home field is a huge advantage. And, this team needs to win. They can sense it. And it's almost like the Dolphins are playing with house money. Nobody expected them to be 3-0. And right now, if they're 3-1 after 4, if you would have said that before the season, they would take it.
Tua going to play?
Yes. From everything that I've heard, from everyone that I've spoken to, the goal is to have him play. He's going to get some help from the medical staff as much as he can and be ready to go and do this thing. And, of course, Teddy Bridgewater will be ready if Tua can't go or gets hurt mid-game. But expect Tua to start. But remember, they also paid Teddy Bridgewater $6.5 million to be his backup. And that's the second highest paid backup in the league, behind Jimmy Garoppolo, who's now starting in San Francisco. So a great opportunity for Teddy, who's been a starter in this league most recently with the Broncos. So we'll see what he can do if his number is called upon. But when he was in the game for the series last week, when Tua was out with the back injury, it did not go good. It did not go well.
Josh, what are the guys saying about rest, right? Full disclosure, Josh and I covered the Green Bay Packers at the same time, like a whole lifetime ago. But they always said to a man, Thursday Night Football sucks. It's the absolute worst. You don't start feeling good from last Sunday until Wednesday. They didn't practice, like you said. But what's sort of the sense around the team as we look at this from a trading perspective? on what we can expect the energy level to look like for this team?
Well, we were talking a little bit about the defense and just how many snaps they played. When you play that many snaps, it's almost like they played 90
snaps last week.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Normal defense averages less than 50 snaps per game, just to kind of put that in perspective. So the defense is going to be tired. And we've seen this offense with the Dolphins. They want to throw the ball, but they're going to have to run the ball a little bit here just to keep their offense on the field, control that clock, because they were not on the field at all against the Bills. So you want to play complementary football, right? That's the buzzword that the coaches like to use. But this team's tired, and you can sense it. But there's something rolling right now, and Mike McDaniel is a special coach. The players are buying in, they're playing for him, and they got a lot of mojo right now. So they're hoping to ride that. But again, if you flip it on the other side, they're playing in front of their hometown. I'm talking about Cincinnati. We're seeing Joe Burrow get better. Remember, he had that appendectomy and really didn't play in the preseason. So you saw a little rust the first couple of games. Yes, they're coming off a win over the Jets, but I think Burrow's going to play better. I think that offensive line is going to be better. And just with what the Dolphins are coming off of with that huge game and the streak, I would say I'd love to see it continue because I cover the team. But, kind of where your money's at, that 38.5% chance for the Dolphins, I'd say that's pretty accurate. I mean, I would take the Bengals in this one for sure.
Yeah, Bengals trading at 64.50 to win on Sport Trade. Again, we're joined by Josh Moser, sports director at WSVN in Miami, Florida. You mentioned Mike McDaniel, an unbelievable coach who answers unbelievable questions. I'm going to cue this up. When he was introduced, Josh, you asked him maybe the most important question of all. We'll listen to that now.
On kill, kiss, or marry, your coaching tree: Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay.
Start with Matt. I'd kiss him because he's most endearing.
The eyebrows?
Yeah, I would marry Kyle because I've spent the most time with him, so I should marry him. And I would kill Sean because he just was the last team that I played and he beat me.
Interesting guy. So now we're going to play the same game with you, okay? Josh, you've worked in a couple television markets. You've worked in Denver. You've worked in Miami. You've worked in Green Bay. You've worked elsewhere in Colorado. We're going to play the same exact game with you. So kiss, marry, kill your TV markets. Go ahead.
Ooh.
Tough one.
I would definitely kill Grand Junction as much as I appreciate them from the start.
I thought you were going to say Green Bay and people were going to be pissed. I thought you were going to go there.
When you make $19,000 a year, you just can't survive off that money.
Hey, Grand Island, Nebraska. I got you.
Yeah, I think I would definitely kiss Miami because in Miami, I mean, there's not a lot of keepers. It's a pretty transient city, a lot of wildness. You can't really sustain a lifestyle, if you know what I mean, for the people that have traveled to Miami. And we will go with marry Denver. I think Denver's got, a little bit of everything. Originally, I'm from Southern California. It's got everything but the beach, but a quick plane ride away. I think that's a little bit more affordable because right now a one-bedroom apartment in Miami is going for $5,000 a month.
Oh man,
and it's New York prices. It is expensive, and so that would be my answer.
All right. Well, you do a show with Drew Rosenhaus, so maybe when he negotiates your next deal, you'll be able to get $5,000 per paycheck and afford to live somewhere in the town you work. Josh, before we let you go, again, thanks so much for coming on. You're literally on the field right now. We're super excited to watch the game tonight and to hear from you. Before we go, McDaniel, what has he brought to this team? And I know you said you're probably trending towards Bengals, but let's get a real prediction from you.
Mike McDaniel has brought a unified locker room to this team. They were coming off of a Brian Flores-led team that was, quote-unquote, the Patriot way.
That was throwing games, allegedly. Allegedly.
Yes. I can neither confirm nor deny.
We're not going to get you in trouble.
But, the league made its ruling. But I think there's a unified voice. I think this is, the players have really bought in for Mike McDaniel. They want to play for him. And, for everyone watching, you can relate this to a work environment. When you have great people that you want to work with and that you get along with, the product's just a lot better. And but last year, players, you had to walk single file. Everyone was on pins and needles.
Oh my God.
There was big dissent between Chris Greer, the GM, and Brian Flores, and the message with Deshaun Watson potentially coming. So now you have a guy, Mike McDaniel. He shows up to Tua's luau. He supports the players in their endeavors off of the field, which wants them to give more for him. And they just get along really, really well. Plus, he's loose, and the players are playing loose. Plus, you add a guy like Tyreek Hill and his personality. You bring in Chase Edmonds, who is really a phenomenal running back from Arizona. They've spent money. They upgraded the left tackle, it's Ron Armstead. So they put the pieces in place for Tua to be successful. And then their younger players are coming along. But more than all, like, they're friends. They get along really well. We always talk about chemistry and a locker room. And we're really seeing that this year on the Dolphins team, much more so than we've seen since I've covered them. And I know when we worked together in Green Bay, we talked about that special chemistry in Green Bay and their extended playoff runs. Yes, it's a little different when you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback,
right.
But this team is looking for their first 4-0 start since 1995, and the city is behind this team. And hopefully they can pull out a win here. But again, Cincinnati, I mean, football started in Ohio. This place is going to be rocking. It took forever to get in here. Fans have been here for hours, so it's going to be a whiteout tonight in prime time. This is what the players live for. But as far as the prediction, because of the short week, because of how much we've seen the defense on the field last week against the Bills for the Dolphins, I am going with the Bengals to win this game, and I will say 27-24 Bengals.
Okay, so a cover, though, for your Dolphins.
3.5.
3.5, okay.
Is it line? Is it 3.5? Is
it
line
is.
3.5?
It is.
I'll say I think they can do that just because of what Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, what they bring offensively. It's pick your poison. But I think this defense is going to struggle. They're a little bit banged up, but so hopefully they can get pressure on Joe Burrow. But I think I'm picking the Dolphins to cover, but I'm still taking the Bengals here to win.
Dolphins price to cover 3.5 at $50.50 per contract on Sport Trade. Josh, this has been amazing. Thanks so much. I know you have to go do your actual job now, so have a great couple live shots and enjoy the game, my friend.
Oh, yeah. I got to make sure I use some Sports Trade and supplement the income a little bit here.
Not in Florida yet, but when we are, you'll be my first call. Thanks, my man.
Hey, absolutely. Congrats again on everything. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Take it easy, buddy. All right. Josh Moser joining us down live from Cincinnati. A huge game tonight on Thursday Night Football. Thanks to Josh so much for hanging out with us a little bit. With that in mind, of course, it is now Thursday. Our markets get posted on Monday, so we're going to pull up for you now some of the price movement that has been happening on Sport Trade. Here are the biggest price movers so far this week. We're looking at, on your left, the current price and the change since Monday. We talked about it with Anita Marks on Monday. The Ravens and the Bills. I thought it was mispriced. Greg Rappaport said it the other day on the show. This Ravens defense, maybe not your older brother's Ravens defense, but they're one fourth quarter collapse away from being undefeated. They are now at 41.5. The Bills at 59.5. These are all prices to win. That's a $5 change both ways since Monday. Falcons and Browns. We've been talking about the Falcons all week on the show, and there's a reason for it. They are an exciting offensive team that I think you can still grab value on. They're up $4.50 against the Browns. That game in Ohio on Sunday, but now a bit of a leveling out of the market there. Falcons up to 48.5. Browns down to 52.5. Chiefs and Bucks. This is your biggest mover of the entire slate. The Chiefs are down $6.50. This game is now even at $50.50 each. Again, these prices are to win. The Bucks up $6.50. I'm going to be quite honest. That movement, I'm not certain if the Bucks received good news about Chris Godwin today. Presumably, Mike Evans will be back. Maybe Julio Jones, not entirely sure. Again, locked in on putting the show together, not always locked in on Twitter, specifically to the Bucks. But that is a massive market movement since Monday. And then finally, this one actually kind of surprised me. The Seahawks, who lost to Atlanta last week, up $5 against the Lions. Maybe this is a hangover effect for the Lions because the Lions were unable to close against the Vikings last week, but they dropped from $71 a contract when they opened on Monday to $66 per contract to win. Again, of course, we say this every day on Sport Trade. You could move the dollar sign and make it a percentage sign, and that is the likely probability of these things to occur. So when I say the Seahawks are trading at $35, what I'm really saying is, according to our market, they have roughly a 35% chance of winning. That's the happy stuff. Let's get to the sad stuff, shall we? We are tracking several games right now on the MLB slate. We have 3 games that are still up, 4 games that are still up. And as you can see, my portfolio to the right here is in a very sad place. I'm down $25.50 overall. We're running you through what we're trading on currently. We had the under 7.5 runs between the Royals and the Tigers at last check. That lost. The Tigers up 10-3. So that, as you can see here in the top right corner of our screen, trading has been halted. So because of that, that one's a loser. We had the Twins at -1.5 earlier as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook as well, feel free to send in whatever you want to trade on, whatever your plays are. We'll talk about it. We'll rap about it back and forth on the show. Had the Twins -1.5. That is now down to $3. We'll check out why. Top of the 9, White Sox up 4-3. So that one's not looking all that great. So what I'm going to do actually is get back my $1.30 if I can. Looks like we're at a volatile market right now, so I may not be able to. $1.20. We're just going to get rid of it. And that's what you could do on Sports Trade. I just sold out of an absolute loser. And in the end, I ended up saving myself $1.20. Maybe not great, but at the same time, if I had been paying attention and not doing an interview live on the air, I could have gotten out for a little bit more. Our other trades here, we have 3 contracts on the Baltimore Orioles to upend the Boston Red Sox. That game tied at 3 in the 8th. Our average cost, now this is a huge thing on Sports Trade, right? Cost basis. So my average cost for 3 contracts right now is $30.20. If you see the white strike there to the left of the money bar, about a third of the way through the money bar, you'll be able to see what that strike is, and that is your average cost. Now, you may be saying, Dan, why does that matter? Because I originally got the Baltimore Orioles to win, I believe, let's see, recent trades. Baltimore Orioles, I got them at $42 originally, meaning a 42% chance to win. Now, I bought 2 additional contracts when they had fallen to $24 each. One was $24, one was $24.50, which brought my average cost to $30.20. Here's the thing on Sport Trade that separates us from everybody else. Because I did that, I'm now up $20 because the Orioles are selling at $37. And it just went volatile, so something just happened. But in that example, because I lowered my cost basis, I am actually now up and have now made money on this trade. You can't do that anywhere else. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lock in my profit. I'm going to sell all of them, and I just made $21.56. That is Sport Trade. We'll go back to our portfolio. Again, that's under 7.5 is a loser, so we're done with that one. Here's what I want to watch with you guys. And here's why this is so sad. We're a Philadelphia-based company. I'm a Philadelphia guy. Went to Temple. Lived in the area most of my life, absent my years in television. The Philadelphia Phillies are the most disappointing and frustrating franchise, maybe in all of sports. They've been playing baseball since, I think, 1884. They've had 3 instances in which they've been any good. This ain't one of them. The Phillies have the 4th highest payroll in the major leagues. They have 83 wins. In a sport, mind you, where most teams are trying to lose to get better draft picks. They still can't win. Last year, they had the 3rd highest payroll. Won 83 games. It's pathetic. I say all of this because they were up 4.5 games in the expanded wild card. Up 4.5 games a week ago. They now lead the Milwaukee Brewers by a half game. They're wrapping up a 3-game series right now in Chicago, so a day game at Wrigley Field, in which the Phillies now trail 2-0. They scored 1 run last night. They scored 1 run the night before. They are absolutely collapsing. So as an emotional hedge, as you can see on our screen, I ended up buying 2 contracts of the Cubs to win because I've now watched 156 games of Phillies baseball, enough to know that every September they go into an absolute tailspin. And that is exactly what we are seeing right now as they trail 2-0. But because of that, my original position at 35.50. And here's another thing. The Phillies have actually been trading above 60 all series. 65.5 2 days ago. 64.5 yesterday. They were trading above 60 today too. The Cubs at 35.5. 3rd straight day, trading in the 30s. They're probably going to beat the Phillies. The Phillies are probably going to be sitting home in October again. Have not made the playoffs since 2011. Longest drought in the National League. 2nd longest drought in Major League Baseball. I feel like I'm on drive time radio here. It has been so depressing watching them play baseball every single night. Afternoon. Bottom of the 6th. Cubs have a runner on first. It's 2-0 Chicago. We have a full count here with 2 out, so the runner's going to be moving. What we have found in some of these high leverage situations on Sports Trade, Singles. What are they worth? About $5. $5 for a single on Sport Trade. That to me is incredible. That leads to what we've been talking about with our CEO and founder, Alex Kane, for a long time here, which is you can micro trade, situationally trade moments in a game. Ranger Suarez just struck out a batter to get out of the 6th inning. He's upset. I'm also upset. But if you noticed, we went down about $3. So the screen says 87. We're up 87 at $158 for a position. My screen says 155 for 84. So I'm going to pop this out real quick and I'm going to reconnect it and hopefully it is accurately portraying what we're seeing here. But this is, again, it's a Sport Trade live stream, right? So I'm going to tell you why you should be trading on Sport Trade. This is the difference right here. A strikeout was worth $3. Now, we're on the wrong side of it, unfortunately, right? But at least in this instance. Singles, maybe $5. High leverage moments. There was a double hit last night. I hate to admit it. I was in for over 10 contracts on the Phillies at a low cost basis. All I needed was a base hit. Phillies put runners on first in consecutive innings and immediately grounded into double plays. But you see that thing go back and forth, that money bar going back and forth, and I'll tell you, man, it is amazing. So let's go back to our portfolio. Looks like we're working again. So again, the only game that we have left right now is the Cubs and the Phillies. Cubs currently trading at $77.50. We're up $42 in that position. But let's go back to our previous trades and show you kind of what our activity level has been. So 1 of 4 games, we had the Minnesota Twins minus 1.5 earlier today against the White Sox. White Sox now in the bottom of the 9th. White Sox leading 4-3. So in order for this trade to win, we would have to get 2 runs here from the Twins. So I ended up selling out of that for $1.20. So lost about $31.30 on that trade. But because we dropped our cost basis for the Baltimore Orioles against the Boston Red Sox, we actually ended up making $21.56. Bought more contracts, lowered the cost basis. It's just like a stock exchange. Imagine if you had done the same, if you bought Apple at a higher number and then it dipped and you said, I'm going to buy the dip. We bought the dip on the Baltimore Orioles. It ended up paying off for us. We made $21.56. So here's where we are. I have absolutely zero confidence that the Phillies are going to rally in this game. Their season is going to be over in short order. And with that, we're probably going to call it a live stream unless there are any comments, questions, or concerns from any of the streaming sites that we're on. It doesn't appear to be the case right now, so we'll call it a live stream. But we had a great time today. Thanks again to Josh Moser for hanging out with us. I had a great time talking. Make sure you are trading on Thursday Night Football. Again, let's put the graphic up one more time. That's the wrong graphic, Dan. Hit the right button. The right graphic, Dolphins and Bengals, the money line, the winner line. The Dolphins here at $36.50. The Bengals at $64.05. The spread, Dolphins plus 3.5. 50.5, Bengals minus 3.5 at 55. Let's go Bengals. Thanks to Amy. Locking a profit on them Phils from Matt. I got to tell you, there is no profit to be made on the Phillies. We're just going to let the Cubs run out the string here, I think. And then the over-under, we didn't get a chance to talk about that with Josh Moser. The over 47.5 at 53. The under 47.5 at 48. Happy trading. Enjoy Thursday Night Football. We are back here tomorrow. We're super excited to be talking with Pine Sports. All of you analytics guys out there, guys and girls out there, you are going to want to listen to this episode. Pine Sports is going to dive deep into the numbers. We're going to have a great analytical discussion on what's going to be happening for NFL Sunday. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 4 o'clock on Twitter, on Facebook, and where else do we stream from? Twitter, Facebook. There's one more way to go out on the show, Dan. We'll see you tomorrow. This has been Market Movers. The Phillies are ruining my brain.